Hey y'all, this is Jack here with Loud Bros. We wanted to recap an 1,800 square foot garage floor coating that we just completed over in Bloomington from a referral and show a little bit more about our process for you. So as you can see in this video here, we are starting with the grinding, and also for any of the joints inside of the floor, what we like to do as well too is place back rod into the joints so that we still do honor them, and then afterwards patch the whole entire floor so that we have a fully seamless floor there. As you can see, they're starting to patch, and the day kind of got to the end of it, so we didn't have the rest of the installation there for the rest of the grinding, but completed all of that. New day here, and now we are installing the polyaspartic base coat. We do the edges with a chip brush so that we don't get anything onto the sides of the walls for the customer. And then I push all the product with a notched squeegee so that we can get 150 square feet per gallon from that squeegee to ensure that we are getting the recommended amount of thickness across the whole entire floor. As we're doing that, since we have to kind of be quick with the installation for the curing process to have the flakes adhere, we like to do it section by section, kit by kit. So then go back, as you can see, start flaking it as we get ahead there. Still cutting in the edges across the whole entire floor so that we are always ahead of where we need to be squeegeeing out. And then whenever we get to drains, such as you can see here, going away from those so that we don't have all kinds of puddles onto that drain. Keep cutting it in, and then we'll throw back into the flake here shortly. We like to over broadcast across the whole entire floor so that whenever everything is completed, we probably collected about 60 pounds of additional flake. Well, actually more, about 100 pounds off this floor after it was completed. So always throwing 2 rejection onto that flake. Almost finish up there with the base coat here in a couple seconds. Roll it out so it's all consistent. Then finish up the flaking. This was a custom flake color. The customer already had a different style of flake inside of the garage, so then when we came through, we were able to match that color for them, and you get a great look. After now, we're just looking over the floor, make sure everything is perfect. And then this is a couple hours that has elapsed, so the floor is entirely cured at this point. This had a lot of like kind of glittery into the flake, very light flake onto there, and so it's kind of blowing around. We are now collecting all that additional flake, as you can see here, about 100 additional pounds off of that floor at the end of the day. Go collect the flake, and then soon enough we will start scraping it. We scrape the flake in 3 different directions so that you still have the grip of the flake and the friction onto the floor so it's not slippery. But at the same time, we want to make sure that it is more flat so that things are not, that you can still walk onto the floor fully barefoot. So we start with this angle here, going across the floor, then we'll go sideways across the floor, and then we'll go diagonally to finish off. I wish we could move this quick, but this right here probably took us about at least an hour to get all of this scraped afterwards. So as you can see, we just met there. Also important for that last bit there so that we have all consistency across the whole entire floor. And then we begin going this way. I start onto the diagonal while they're going back and forth onto the perpendicular there. And then after all of this process is complete, we vacuum the whole entire floor one last time for any of the loose flakes that may be onto the surface. And should be done here in a second. We can also install these floors at just about any time of the year. So even at 20 degrees outside, generally we do a lot of commercial work during this time, so January through February. But we're currently out until about mid-February at the moment here if you're watching on January 13th. And then after all of the vacuuming has been completed, we are now on to the top coat. Same exact process, but what we like to do is use a flathead squeegee onto this because the flakes in and of themselves, and then also you can see the little tape lines that we have here as we're following, so that we're making sure that we are getting the 150 square feet per gallon all the way across the floor for that proper depth and thickness onto the floor. And there's a lot of time where surprisingly we want to kind of slow down a little bit because he does need to roll it this way and then have that final roll this way. So we'll slow down just a little bit every once in a while strategically so that he can catch up onto his side and I'm not pushing out too much of the material ahead of him. And then just kind of working with each other back and forth, filming some ads while we're completing it. Sometimes we don't have that much time, but it's actually surprisingly easier for us to install when it's not as hot outside. Actually helps out a little bit more for some more time to be able to work with it. And then since this drain was here, we had to split it up since we can't go straight over that drain. So we go half and half. And now we're about to meet up one last time. Roll out the whole entire floor so that we get that perfect glass look all the way. And here we are on to the last bit. Full polyaspartic custom flake floor for our customer. Thank you for the referral as well, Zach. And we are on to the next one. Let us know if you need anything, if you have any questions, or if you'd like me to make any other videos onto these topics. And I hope you have a great day. Peace.